She is a skilled professional with a remarkable track record of success spanning various industries and geographies.
And from then on, I've had a journey in healthcare for over 2 decades. And what I've really done in my healthcare journey is I started from marketing roles in Johnson Johnson, then I moved on to general manager roles there. So I think what is very, very important is what is our responsibility, to the community, to the people that we work with, our own employees. How much accountability do we have to that? How much transparency do we have to that? Also the ethics, right? At the end of the day, that's so important. Yeah, so I think, there are two things. One, there's so much happening in the world today, right? In the digital space, in the AI space, in the blockchain space. The other thing is how well adept is the company to be able to use that technology. People from different industries can get together and exchange ideas and learn from one another.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Pancholi, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. We have one such industry leader on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Ms. Ruchika Singhal. She is a skilled professional with a remarkable track record of success spanning various industries and geographies. Throughout her illustrious career, she has held pivotal leadership roles in prominent organizations such as Medtronic, Johnson Johnson, AstraZeneca. Her journey encompasses a spectrum of responsibilities ranging from leading marketing to general manager positions and commercial operations across countries. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Ms. Singhal.
Hi, Sunny. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So, Ms. Singhal, to begin with, could you briefly introduce yourself and provide an overview of your career journey so far?
Yes, thanks, Sunny. So I'm Ruchika Singhal and I live in Mumbai currently with my family. My career journey spans close to about 27, 28 years. And my initial career was from media organizations. So I worked with Telefilms and the Times of India. Then I did my MBA from University of Pennsylvania. And from then on, I've had a journey in healthcare for over 2 decades. And what I've really done in my healthcare journey is I started from marketing roles in Johnson Johnson, then I moved on to general manager roles there. Then I moved to other countries. I've worked across countries. Then I moved to AstraZeneca, which was a pharmaceutical space. And then I moved back to medical devices, which is Medtronic. So in healthcare, I've really covered medical technology, medical devices, and pharmaceuticals across. And most of my roles have really been about transformation because I've been a general manager wherein every role has been about transforming the business, the top line, the bottom line, and a whole lot of other things in terms of processes and everything. So I would consider myself more like a transformational leader. And even in terms of commercial operations, setting up something for a company, offshoring things for a company, or introducing artificial intelligence, or, so those are really things that I specialize in. So one would be transforming businesses, and one would be establishing new functions and taking them to, or scaling them up and taking them to another level. And pretty much, I think over 2 decades of my healthcare journey that I have, it's been interspersed with a lot of experience in emerging markets, developed markets, with different rules, different regulations, different processes. And the most important thing has been about how to be a growth-oriented company with sustainable profitability. So that really is the mantra that drives me. But at the end of the day, I feel whatever you do in driving your profitability or your top line, the most important thing remains, keeping your ethical aspects very clear, having clear accountability, having good transparency, and making sure that the company is doing the right thing, not just for the shareholders, but also for the community, for the employees, and for everyone. I think that's the litmus test of driving a good, sustainable business. Yeah.
So continuing our conversation, our viewers would like to know what have been some of the challenges in your professional journey and how did you overcome them?
So I would say challenges come in every role. However, one thing that I would like to definitely mention as I look over my career journey of over 2 decades is having worked across different countries and different regions. One needs to sensitize oneself, to the cultural nuances and the cultural sensitivities of different countries. You need to listen a lot more, and then you start doing or taking action. And I think I have learned so much having worked across the gamut of countries. It also lets you learn and absorb what are the things that we can do better in our own country, right? And also the learnings from India that I took to the other countries. So I think for me the big thing was adapting myself quickly to the different needs of different businesses, of different countries, and being able to contribute in a mutual way.
All right. So now that we have discussed your career journey, your professional pursuits, roles, and responsibilities, let's move on and let's discuss the subject of ESG and corporate governance. So here is my question to you, and a very obvious one. What kindled your interest in ESG and corporate governance? That is part A. And what values do you bring to the table?
So, Sunny, I think the most important thing as I've worked across companies is ESG is a very, very important part of any company. And if you are looking at a blue chip company or a company that has a great reputation, a great goodwill, that comes over multiple years of work. And that really is about how much committed a company is towards things outside of just sales and marketing and manufacturing and all those functions. So I think what is very, very important is what is our responsibility, to the community, to the people that we work with, our own employees. How much accountability do we have to that? How much transparency do we have to that? Also the ethics, right? At the end of the day, that's so important. And also being in healthcare company where our regulations are very, very strict. They are very, very tough. So we have to ensure that we are aligned not just with our global ethical standards, but also with each country's local standards. And we also benchmark ourselves to make sure that we are keeping the higher standards really there, whether it be local or global, but we keep the higher one as something that we aim for. And I feel as long as that becomes really the culture of a company and really is a success factor in the long term. And I've seen enough examples in my career where any mistake in the ESG piece detracts a lot of goodwill, a lot of reputation that the company may have built over multiple years, but it just goes away, by this one mistake or one oversight that the company may have done. So I feel like with that experience that I have, having worked across countries in a very regulated market like healthcare, I think it's extremely important that we have the right mechanism within the company to ensure that we have the awareness and a monitoring mechanism that this ESG piece is always front and center or whatever we are doing, because a miss there is absolutely non-negotiable or something that will put you back by multiple years. And I think I bring in that insight and that experience to the table, because having had a lot of experience there, having made a lot of decisions there for my businesses across, it has given me a lot of instinct and a lot of understanding of how we need to move forward in a very critical sphere. I think in India also we are moving very strongly every year towards that, but I've seen that there is still a long way to go there, because I've seen some fantastic companies tumbling down because, some mistakes have been made in the ESG piece. So I think that always will be important to be kept front and center. And also, I think it attracts a lot of good talent into the company, right? It also makes sure that you are managing your risks very well in the company, and you have a long-term goal that you can be confident about when you keep these basics in sight and do that well.
Rightly said, Ms. Singhal. All right, so moving ahead, let's discuss technology and its impact on your professional landscape. So what changes do you expect to see in your field or the corporate world with the advent of AI, ML, blockchain, cloud, big data, etc.?
Yeah, so I think, see, there are two things. One, there's so much happening in the world today, right? In the digital space, in the AI space, in the blockchain space. The other thing is how well adept is the company to be able to use that technology. Because just because the technology is present doesn't mean that the company is ready to use it, right? You need the right caliber of people, and you need to also ensure that you have that as one of the objectives within the company to be able to use that. So I think for me, as I see how our work evolves, there are a lot of things that we have done ourselves wherein we've used AI to be able to spread information way faster in different languages rather than having to employ people to do that, because now through AI, you can actually completely whatever you are saying, Sunny, can be translated in any language in the world, and people can actually, hear it without somebody being a translator anymore, right? So basically, those jobs might become even less. But then there are so many other jobs which are going to come about, right? Because your basic that you were really putting your heart and, head into it now can be, you can use technology for doing that. So you can actually use your mind space to do a lot of other things. So I think it's a fantastic tool for us to really focus our energies and make our jobs, our functions, and our companies much more competitive, much more effective, and much more efficient.
All right. So thank you for sharing such amazing insights into different subjects. And this brings us to the last question of the session. So here it is. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the team of World Development Corporation?
No, this is fantastic. There's no doubt about it, because I feel we don't have too many platforms in India where, like-minded people can really come together and exchange ideas, maybe best practice, kind of thing, or even come together and discuss what's going on, maybe in the same industry. Maybe we get siloed to our industries also, but it'll be a great way in which people from different industries can get together and exchange ideas and learn from one another. I think it's a fantastic idea. I see that in many countries, actually, in different ways that it started, and it'll be a great thing to have something like that in India, and I would love to be a part of that. I think the more you interact with people from across, there's such wonderful things happening in different companies. The more you interact, the more you learn, the more you can implement, and the more you can share, what you're doing with others. So it's a win-win situation, I feel, for everyone.
Great, Ms. Singhal. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you for joining us today, and we wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Thank you, Sunny. It was wonderful chatting up with you.
Thank you, and have a nice day.